Hello everyone and welcome back to 27 Fox Place. I only have two things on my agenda today. I wanted to try out my new carpet cleaner and then I needed to prep lunch for the week. I've been wanting to try out a handheld carpet cleaner for a few years now, but I do try to avoid having two things that can do pretty much the same job. But when I saw this Bissell deal on the last Amazon Prime Day, it seemed like the perfect opportunity. It was super easy to set up and get started. This model came with two attachments and a bottle of cleaning solution, and we do have a carpet cleaner that can do the same thing as the smaller version, but the upholstery attachment doesn't work anymore, and I thought about getting a new attachment so that I wouldn't have to store two separate machines, but the carpet cleaner is getting older and I didn't want to invest into something that probably won't last very much longer. I think this little handheld version will be much easier to use for little spills and small cleanups so that I don't have to drag out the big machine. So I think it's going to get a lot of use.
Standing underneath the lights, look into each other's eyes. Tired snowflakes are coming down, collapse into water when they hit. Hear the sound of empty streets. Yesterday has gone to sleep, so all that's left is you and me. I can't promise you're the only thing I see.
I was pretty impressed how easy this machine is to use. The tank has two lines to make it easy to measure out the right ratio of cleaner and water. The cleaning solution goes in first, then the rest is filled with water. I thought it would be better to add water before adding the solution to avoid filling the tank with soap bubbles, but the cleaning solution didn't seem to foam up all that much. I'm not sure exactly how much this machine weighs, but it feels very light and easy to carry around, even when the water tank is full.
Quiet voices in the night. Time is running out of sight.
I have about 101 things that I want to try this out on, but I wanted to start out with this banquette that we have in the dining room. We've been spot cleaning this banquette to remove the small stains, but the whole thing is overdue for a good cleaning, and I'm only going to work on the lower half today. That's where most of the dirt settles in, and the next time I'll clean the back of the banquette.
But you and me, it's like a made-up place that only we can see.
Something to keep in mind is whether or not the upholstery or carpet you have can be cleaned with water, so I always check with the manufacturer recommendations first. We've had this banquette for about 10 years, give or take, and we ordered online, so I knew it was a risk. It fit the space perfectly, but I'm not impressed with the quality. The bottom started to sag in places that we were sitting right away, and the fabric started to buckle, and it's squeaky and noisy when we get up and down, so I can't say that I would recommend it, but it does do what we need it to do, and overall it's held up pretty well.
Standing underneath the lights, look into each other's eyes. There's no one left but you.
When I started going over the stained areas, I wasn't quite sure if they were going to come out. Sometimes it does take a little while for the cleaner to lift up the stains. So after a few passes, I moved on and I came back to it a few times. But once it was all dry, the stains were completely gone.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things. Mountain laurel high fives for miles in spring. trout and a hummingbird wing. Golden, I'll follow only golden. Golden, golden things. Gold hair, gold rings, gold leaves, gold anything, golden. I'll follow only gold.
I was a little concerned that the water tank might be too small for bigger jobs like this one, but I only had to refill the tank one time, and I almost finished the whole bench before I had to stop and empty the collection tank, and I was so surprised just how much dirt came out. Overall, I'm really happy with this machine. It got all of the stains out and dirt that I didn't even know was there.
Walk up the river by my son. Feet step over splinters of the moon. Golden, I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things. Gold birds, gold strings, gold words, gold anything, golden. I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things.
I need to make lunch for both myself and my husband for the week, but these meals could also work as lunch and dinner for one person. For meals that I can cook at home, I prefer to have all of the ingredients prepped and ready in the fridge, but we can't always eat at home, so I need to prep lunch that we can take with us for the week. I'm not following any type of recipe, but I'll be sure to leave all of the ingredients in the description box. This week, I'm making pasta salad for me and a sort of a Southwest chicken for my husband. So I want to start by marinating the chicken. I'm using mayonnaise instead of oil because it gives the chicken a nice tangy flavor. I just use about a quarter cup of mayo, a tablespoon white vinegar, 2 tablespoons of chipotle peppers in adobo sauce, and about a teaspoon of blackened seasoning, and then I just mix everything together and pour it over the chicken thighs. I'm using about 24 ounces of chicken. I like to use chicken thighs because they're juicier and they have more flavor, but chicken breasts would be another good option. I like to marinate the chicken for about an hour or two before I cook it, but it's much better to marinate the chicken overnight. I'm using chicken thighs so I can get away with cooking them up right away, but chicken breasts come out much better if they can sit for an hour or two before cooking. I can set the chicken aside and let it sit while I wait for the grill to heat up. And I also need to boil water for the pasta and the rice. The rice will take the longest to cook, and this whole meal prep will be finished by the time the rice is finished cooking. I'm cooking the chicken outside on the grill so that I don't have to heat up the oven. I prefer to use the grill most of the time to get that nice smoky flavor, but you could also bake the chicken in the oven at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes or so. Meal prep can easily get out of hand if I don't keep up with the dishes. So I rinse off all the dishes right away. Some of them I can reuse again to cut down on the cleanup later, and I put everything else straight into the dishwasher. This helps keep the countertops clear so that I have room to work, and it cuts down on the cleanup that I have at the end. While I'm waiting for everything else to cook, I can put together a quick salsa to go with the chicken, and I've shared this recipe with you a few weeks ago, but I thought you might like to see how I pair it with a meal. I'll be sure to add a link to that video in the description box. The main ingredients for this recipe are black beans and corn, which are staples I can always have on hand in the pantry and freezer. Beans are high in protein, but they're missing one of the essential amino acids that's found in both corn and rice, so when paired together, they make a complete protein with lots of fiber. Whenever I meal prep, I'm usually juggling several things at once. The more things I can do at the same time, the less time I need to spend in the kitchen, but I wasn't always the most efficient with meal prep. If you're new to meal prep, it's always a good idea to start with meals that you know how to make so that you don't have to stop and think about what needs to be done. You can always start by making 1 or 2 meals for the week and then adding as you get more comfortable. I started with a few go-to meals that I could prep very quickly, and then once in a while I would add something new for a little extra variety. This black bean and corn salsa is great for meal prep because it's quick and easy to put together, it doesn't get soggy, and it gets more flavorful when the seasonings have time to mingle together. I can add it to a meal prep like I'm doing today, or I can keep it in the fridge until I'm ready to add lettuce to make a taco salad. Both the salsa and the chicken are done, but I'm still waiting for the rice to cook so I can get started on the pasta salad. I've seen so many different variations of this salad in a jar. The possibilities are endless. My rule of thumb is to divide the bottom half of the jar with protein and a starch like beans or rice, and then fill the top half with veggies. To keep the whole thing from getting soggy, add the dressing to the bottom of the jar first. Today I'm adding about 2 tablespoons of ranch dressing, 3 ounces of canned salmon for the protein, and 8 ounces of chickpea pasta divided evenly between each jar. For the top half of the jar, I'm going to add about a half a cup of diced tomatoes. I'm using grape tomatoes, so you could toss them in whole to save time, but I like to cut them in half. When you're layering the ingredients into the jar, the wet ingredients go on the bottom, and any veggies that could wilt or get soggy should go in the jar last. I also try to make sure that I get about 4 to 5 cups of leafy greens each day, so I'm adding about 2 cups of fresh spinach. Because the spinach is on the top, it'll stay crisp until I'm ready to eat it. And to top the whole thing off, I'm going to add a handful of chopped walnuts to each jar for just a little bit of extra crunch. I don't recommend adding croutons. The moisture in the jar will soften them even when they're at the top. And I'm using a 32-ounce mason jar today. It's the perfect size for lunch, and like most meal preps, the jars will keep in the fridge for up to 4 days. When I'm ready to eat, I just dump the whole thing into a bowl and mix it together. This type of meal is great to have on hand at home or on the go for days when I just need something quick and easy. One of the biggest problems I had with cutting out processed foods is the added time it takes to prepare a healthy meal. So when I first cut out processed foods, I started looking for ways to make meals quick and easy to put together. Preparing a fresh meal away from home isn't always an option, so preparing meals for the week is the best alternative when we need to eat away from home, because we can save money and make healthier food choices. I prefer foods that are cold for lunch, like some type of salad, but my husband prefers a hot lunch that he can reheat in the microwave. If you plan on reheating your meal, it's important not to overcook the meat. The meat will continue to cook when it's reheated, so if it's overcooked to begin with, then it's not going to be as good. Of course, chicken needs to be cooked to an internal temperature of about 165, but it will continue to cook once you remove it from the heat, and it will cook again when you reheat it, so it's best to undercook it by a few degrees. Chicken thighs are a much better option for meal prep because they don't dry out as much as a chicken breast. You could also add extra toppings like sour cream, salsa, cilantro, or guacamole to finish things off. Avocado doesn't keep very well once it's cut up, so to keep it from turning brown, I cut up the avocado, but I leave it inside the skin and place the whole thing into the container. Just remove the avocado before reheating and then scoop it out and place it on top. But be sure to wash the outside of the avocado before you cut it open. Meal prep is a little bit of a time investment up front, but in the time it takes to cook one meal, we now have 8 meals ready to go for the week, and instead of cleaning up after each meal, I only have to clean up once, which is a huge time saver. And because I clean up as I go, there's only a little bit of cleanup left to do, and I don't have a mountain of dishes waiting for me. I always try to clean the stove top after each meal to keep food and grease from getting baked onto the surface, because once it's baked on, it's much harder to clean off. Whenever I have a spill that doesn't wipe off easily, I just cover it with a little bit of water and let it sit while I finish up in the kitchen. It's much easier and much faster to let the water soften things up, and then it wipes right off.
Still got your pearls hanging by my bedside. Still got your lips on paper in a trash line. I never knew love could be so sweet. I never knew it would sting. I never knew love like this would leave me in pieces. Oh, Emily, when did you fall right out of love? Oh, Emily, when did the magic stop for us? Oh, but Emily, you are the part of me I feel. It will kill me when you leave and close my door. Oh, Emily. I can't believe it's already over. Too late to talk and fix whatever's broken. I always thought love like ours would last. I never knew love could pass. Tomorrow comes and you are not around. Feels uneasy. Oh, Emily, when did you fall right out of love? Oh, Emily, when did the magic stop for us? Oh, but Emily, you are the part of me I feel. It will kill me when you leave and close my door. Who said it'd be easy to be in love? Who said that the sun would always shine? I'm not sure you realize what you are giving up. When did you fall right out of love? Emily, when did the magic stop for us? Oh, Emily, when did you fall right out of love? Oh, Emily, when did the magic stop for us? Oh, but Emily, you are the part of me I feel. It will kill me when you leave and close my door. Oh, Emily.
I always try to clean the stove, countertop, and sink after each meal so that I can make sure there's no food or crumbs that could attract bugs or harmful bacteria. And then I try to wipe down something extra once a day, like the stainless steel or a section of cabinets or the backsplash. I used stainless steel polish on all of the appliances for years until I discovered microfiber cloths. Now all I need is a damp microfiber cloth, and I can wipe down all of the appliances in half the time, and I don't have to spend extra on cleaners. That's all for today. If you found this video helpful, remember to give it a thumbs up and be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications before you go. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today, and I hope to see you next time.